At the end of the year, we sit back and reflect on our lives. If we live and die for money, how many days do we really have for ourselves? Human life can be born and die because of money. Working hard for half of your life is because you want to accumulate more money and materials to be able to raise your quality of life to another level. However, at the same time, money is like a chain, greed is a grave to bury oneself. The more we let money, fame, and material things take over us, the more we lose everything. In the end, it's just a waste of time, there's nothing left in hand. That is the reason why the ancients had the saying, if a human being is an amateur, a bird is a real person. That is, people die for money, birds die for food. This saying originates from an ancient legend that says, in ancient times, there was a young man named Atam who didn't know what to do, just ate all day and then lay down, looking forward to a life of not working but enjoying money falling from the sky. A nearby vicious bird knew about it, came to Atam's house in the middle of the night and said, "Don't you want to get rich in just one night? I will help you." Atam quickly asked, "You're just a bird, so how can you help me?" The evil bird replied, "Far out at sea there is an island, all on the island is gold. As long as you pay me a goat every day to fill your stomach, I can fly you there to pick up gold." At the end of the year, we sit back and reflect on our lives. If we live and die for money, how many days do we really have for ourselves? Without thinking too much, Atam quickly agreed, climbed on the back of the bird and let it fly over high mountains, across the wide sea, and finally arrived at an island covered in sparkling gold, watching with his eyes. I don't see where the end point is. Before dropping Atam, the bird said, "You must only stay on the island while night falls. As soon as the sun rises, we must quickly leave." Having said that, it dropped Atam to the ground. However, the huge amount of gold in front of him made him forget the bird's instructions. Urging him 3 times 7 times, Atam still refused to go, so the bird immediately left him behind to fly away. At that moment, the sun rose and Atam was immediately burned by fire. As for the bird, it was angry because it had spent so much effort, but got nothing in return. So at night, it returned to the island, took Atam's body for a big party, but because it was busy eating, this time it was its turn to forget the time, eventually falling into the same fate as him that morning. That's why people use the saying people die for money, birds die for food to warn people not to let fame, money, and material things blind their eyes, giving in to insatiable desires, in the end. Lose yourself. Today, life is filled with temptation, making it even easier for us to fall, accepting to trade many principles, regulations, and virtues for just one benefit. To get rich, traders can ignore tricks and competition, focusing only on profits. When the word talent takes the first place in people's hearts, the 5 common senses of a gentleman, namely humanity, respect, righteousness, wisdom, and credibility, are naturally not overlooked. At the end of the year, we sit back and reflect on our lives. If we live and die for money, how many days do we really have for ourselves? A male breadwinner often has to bear the economic responsibility on his shoulders, providing and improving living conditions for the whole family. If people earn little, they have reason to look down on them. That person will also feel lost, have low self-esteem, and feel bitter and depressed about life. Therefore, the pressure to get rich also becomes much heavier. In ancient times, there was a saying, "A gentleman loves talent." In today's life there is no one who does not love money, does not want to live in a beautiful house, does not want to drive a luxury car, does not want to eat well, be well dressed, and fill the house with glory and wealth. However, if we keep holding on to things that do not belong to us, we will never be able to truly possess happiness. Gold, silver, and jewels are just like embroidered flowers on brocade. Having them is good, not having them has no effect on each person's real life. Sometimes, if we put aside greed, we will realize that we can be satisfied much more easily. The house only needs to be enough to live in, it doesn't need to be too lavish. The car only needs to be enough to move around, it doesn't need to be too expensive. Wealth only needs to be enough to cover life and have some savings. No need to own too many sleeping zeros in the bank account. Rich or poor, we still live, we still have the right to be happy with our present. Life has countless ways to live. The most important thing is to live for yourself, for those around you, and feel satisfaction from the bottom of your heart. Each person has only one life to live. Lost time cannot be regained. So, why not enjoy your own life, find the things you love and are most comfortable with? On the future path, we may still face many challenges. Therefore, learn to enjoy and live happily right at this moment. That is the life that can make you happy. Even if you blindly pursue money and material things, fame and fortune, and your beauty fades.